to beat Heiser QL in the pre-round, which is certainly interesting because that was the guy he tied in his group. And here we go. The beginning is going to be much like it always is as we go down to Cirrus Station and do our Ridley fight. And as always, we're going to damage the runners are going to damage themselves down rather than trying to kill Ridley here. Would take 100 shots to kill Ridley, and you would still have the same result of having to run out of Cirrus Station, so we don't bother with that. Well, Zenny looks like he tries to pretend like he might actually do that, but he doesn't. So it should be interesting. We have, with PBs that are this close in time, I'm really hoping for a really good race. And like I said, I expect both of these runners to do new route, which is the more dangerous route. So hopefully everyone will be safe and we won't have any deaths here. If you've been watching the brackets, everything is ramped up. Fewer safeties are being taken and runners are dying. So let's hope for none of that tonight. Also, I should mention, a lot of you would know ShinyZeni from the RBO runs that he does. He is currently the RBO world record holder, actually having gotten a sub 100 in June. Lately, though, he's been putting all his energy into the any% tournament, working on that. So we'll see how well that translates here. Yeah, and yeah, the sync. So the Krauser actually got started a little bit late, so I'm not sure they're going to sync up the clocks here. And we'll see some Moonfall from Zenny. I'm not sure if Krauser uses that or not. It looks like he does. Always like to see a little bit of good Moonfall here. Yeah, Zenny from his dancing skills. Yeah, what that refers to, one of the tricks you use in one of the tricks Zenny uses in his RBO route involves something called Moon Dance, which is a way of getting a nice Moonfall into an early power bomb situation in the Edekun's area. That's not something we're going to see him do here. It takes too much time and it doesn't gain anything in an any% run. I should say, as long as he doesn't forget what category he's doing. Some of you might remember on Friday night when we did the RBO weekly race, Zenny did forget for a moment that he was doing RBO and forgot to pick up Space Jump. Hopefully today he will remember not to pick up Space Jump, although the consequences of picking up Space Jump accidentally as opposed to skipping it in RBO are a lot less dire. Oh, here we go. They are going to sync it. Okay, so we're nice and sync now. Looks like we're getting some nice side-by-side wall jump climbs. Krauser taking an ever so slight lead. So far, everything being as close as I might have expected. Nearly in sync as they go towards BT. Both at full energy. Super important because when they fight BT, they'll want those little eggs to drop missiles, not energy, just to make the BT fight a little bit shorter. And Zeni finishing his BT fight just a little bit earlier. Didn't grab any of the missile drops coming out. That could be problematic. You'll have to get some somewhere. Krauser, on the other hand, having full missiles, especially important in this route, because they're going to use missiles to kill the space pirates here. Since they're going to be doing new route, they're going to conserve that energy rather than boosting right through the space pirates. But looks like he picked up those missiles. Excellent. Both going down to Brinstar with only 2 missiles, so they'll have to pick a couple up before they open up the red door to the early supers. And we get probably the most important mock ball of the game, although not the only one that these runners will be using. Getting those early supers. Almost every category requires this. Otherwise, you're going to have to fight Spore Spawn. That early mock ball will allow you to skip Spore Spawn. We don't want to have to worry about him. It's a long, slow fight to get the normal vanilla supers. There's only a few categories where we actually see Spore Spawn, mostly involving either Spore Spawn RTA, Mini Boss RTA, or some sort of like full map completion. We don't want to go there if we don't have to. It'll be interesting to see how many missiles these runners pick up. You can go, well, technically you go as low as 10, but that's typically for a low percent run, and that's where the diminishing returns kicks in. In an optimal run, you could go down to 15 and be okay without doing any kind of refilling, but we'll see what happens here. So they both picked up the charge missiles as typically is done. Zeni with the slight lead through Green Hills. And now we're going to see both runners go up. Unless they have a surprise for me. And there we go. Zeni's going up. Going for the hero shot. Gets it first try. Very nice. Krauser also going for the hero shot. Also gets it first try. Very nice deboost through the Hellway by Zeni. Krauser using a little bit of pseudo screw first into a deboost. Very nicely done. Well, shout out to Sleepy Time for not being sure why he's watching this, but wanting to play the game. So I have a good suggestion. How about we watch this race and then play the game when we're done? Because it is a great game. Meanwhile, both runners making their way up towards the wrecked ship. Throwing down a power bomb so they don't have to open that door later. And they'll both lay down another power bomb here. So again, they don't have to worry about the door coming back out. And now coming to one of the more difficult tricks, maybe the most difficult trick in this run, the CWJ. It's a frame perfect on the first jump, double frame perfect on the second jump. Krauser going for the backup of the horizontal bomb jump, slightly ahead of Zeni, who gets the CWJ first try. Nicely done by both runners. So let's hope for some good RNG from Fantoon, or at least similar RNG for the two of them. As in a race this close, a difference between a slow and a fast pattern could make a huge difference. And Krauser will be the first to get into his Fantoon fight. Here they'll have to use Dopplers. They don't have Wave Theme yet to use any kind of X Factor strats. Oh, and Zeni with the fast pattern. Looks like Krauser getting a slow. It's unfortunate. Krauser managed to finish it up, finishes off Fantoon a little bit before Zeni, both nicely done. Krauser has a bit of an advantage with a little bit more energy coming out. So regular missile is going to do 100 damage on Fantoon. I believe just charge beam is fairly low. I want to say it's only about 60. So it's not quite going to substitute for one full missile. It's just the... Yeah, thank you, Insane Firebat, confirming that my 60 number. And they both grabbed their second pack of supers, probably their last. Okay, both have really good energy now. It's really important to have good energy here because they're going to go into that spike room where those spikes are going to deal 60 damage a piece. If they hit those spikes 3 times, they need to have more than 181 or more energy to get through it. We've already seen a couple of runners a few days ago die to the spike damage here by getting that extra hit. So hopefully these guys will take that extra precaution. It is not too difficult to get only 2 hits in, especially considering they're not using high jump boots yet, which will allow them for a longer horizontal movement through that room. But no guarantees. It could mess that up, and we don't want to see any more deaths to spike damage. So we'll see if Zeni will farm up a little bit in here. Krauser getting through. Oh, looks like he did take 3 shots. So Zeni's going to have to do this in 2. He does not have enough for 3 hits here. And he makes it. And now the runners get to take a little bit of break. Often they can check their social media. They can get a drink, do whatever. Some runners will even type stuff in chat. Pick up their gravity suit now. And move on. So now both runners will most likely move down to Norfair. We did see earlier in the tournament the occasional PKRD route as Kip likes to call it, the Captain Picard route, where you go to Kraid before Ridley. It is an extra safety to do that. It is certainly safer to do that. You'll get your Varia suit, making the gravity jump in the lava dive room a lot easier, or a lot safer. Plus, you can pick up the Kraid E-Tank at the time. It is slower, though, because you won't have Speed Booster, and you don't get that free Super Missile refill at Mini Kraid that you're gonna want to have going into Meridia. So I would be very surprised if either one of these runners chooses to go to Kraid first. Why Captain Picard? PKRD. Picard. Thank you, chat. Oh, and Zeni doing a very nice moonfall down Red Tower. Krauser going to pick up his Phaser Beam. A lot of any percent runs in the old route will choose not to pick up this Phaser Beam. In new route, we pick up Phaser because we're not going to pick up Plasma Beam. By the time we have the ability to pick up Plasma Beam after killing Dragon, it's way too far out of the way for the time save. You've already killed Ridley, and the time save for Mother Brain just isn't big enough. So Krauser's opening up a bit of a lead here. It's going to open up the Meridia tube first. That saves a little bit of time coming back out. Okay, so looks like I'm wrong. Krauser's going to go to Kraid first. Let's see what Zeni does. Interesting. Maybe he just wants that extra bit of safety, or because I don't think it's because of his lead. The lead I wouldn't call big enough to suddenly change his mind. My guess is this is what he was planning on doing all along. See if Krauser can get the quick kill. So, like I said, you lose a few seconds due to not having Speed Booster. The bigger loss is you have to find a place to make up for those super missiles you're not going to get. So, careful here. When you leave, basically, Mini Kraid is a free super missile refill. It usually drops 4, 5, etc. And you'll lose time to farming to make up for that. So when he comes out of Lower Norfair, he's going to have to farm some supers to get through Batwoon. So that could be, another 10 seconds or so, depending on how his farming goes, or how his drops fall. Zeni, in the meantime, is going to pick up his Ice Beam. Picking up Ice Beam here. It's the smallest added damage of any of the beams, but when you're going into Ridley, every little extra bit of damage helps. The runners will use a lot of super missiles. You'll notice in the old route, you typically don't see runners use super missiles because they want to save them for Mother Brain. Even though the DPS is higher, even with the Charge Wave Ice Plasma. But here, especially Zeni, he's going to get a free refill again for super missiles later on at the Mini Kraid. So he's going to use the super missiles as well as using the Charge Ice Wave Spazer. It looks like Krauser picked up the extra E-Tank for an extra little bit of safety. So Zeni gonna pick up his Speed Booster and his Wave Beam. Krauser's gonna go ahead and get his High Jump Boots. So one thing you'll notice, it's not as important to make sure you open that gray door ahead of time in New Route. One of the advantages, since you already have Power Bombs, what Krauser will do here, most likely, is he'll Power Bomb as soon as he gets out the door. He's already got him selected. That'll kill the Nova, and he'll be able to get through that gray door. Or he'll come out the other way. Krauser going to get his Ice Beam. Zeni's going to get his Wave Beam. That'll be the last beam he'll pick up, since the runners are not going to pick up Plasma. One of the more annoying rooms, the double chamber room. The killer of many an RBO run, as typically you only have 2 E-tanks in a reserve when you go in here. Just so easy to fall through. So the routes are slightly different, to answer the question in chat. They both started out with Phantoon. Krauser, however, decided to go ahead and kill Kraid before Ridley, and Zeni's going to kill Ridley first. So they'll sync back up after. It'll sync back up when they go into Meridia. Meanwhile, Zeni's going into what I tend to call the other Forgotten Highway. This route pretty much used only in New Route. Occasionally you'll see it in a randomizer. You'll see it, of course, in map completion. It's the reverse of the intended way of getting to the speed booster. Looks like Zeni's going to try for the Lava Spark. And he gets the start of it. And he gets it all the way. Nicely done, Zeni. And you'll notice he's already turning off his Spazer and his Ice Beam, because he's going to start Ridley off with some X Factors when he gets there. It saves a little bit of time to do it right when you get into the elevator there. And again, as close as these guys as PBs are, every little bit is going to count. Zeni getting a nice fast pillars. Use power bombs and use the iframes to get through that one space pirate. Zeni making worst room in the game not look bad at all. And out of Amphitheater. Meanwhile, Krauser going through the second Forgotten Highway. Looks like Krauser setting up for Lava Spark as well. See if he can get it. Oh, just misses. He's going to do a gravity jump. It's a little bit safer doing it with Various Suit, as you won't have lost nearly as much energy in the jump part without Gravity Suit on, as you would if you didn't have Varia. Plus he has that extra E-tank. And here we go. Zeni into his Ridley fight. Very nice first X Factor. He's going to go for at least one more. Nicely done. And another. So each particle from the X Factors will do 300 damage. And so essentially one normal super missile. So it's the same as the Charge Ice Wave Spazer shot. Super's doing double damage, so he's going to use up all his supers. And he'll finish him up with the charge shots. Would have been a total of 60 charge shots if he had not used the other strats. So for every super missile he lands, that's 2 charge shots he doesn't have to hit. And for every X Factor particle he lands, that's 1 charge shot he doesn't have to land. Looks like he's getting pretty close here. Krauser, meanwhile, making his way through Amphitheater. And Ridley is down for Zeni. Nicely done. And we'll see if he picks up the energy tank here. Nope. Says, I don't need that energy tank. Let's move on. So the last energy tank he'll take will be most likely be the one right before Bot Wound. He could still take the one at Kraid, but I don't see that happening. So we got a little bit of a high five into and out of the Ninja Pirate room. Krauser doing some nice Giant Spark strats to kill those pirates with no problem. Zeni working on his way out of Lower Norfair. Still has a few obstacles. These key hunters will, I believe, still hit you for 50 damage. With actually for him, I might be more because he doesn't have Varia. I'm not sure if that makes a difference here. So he just wants to avoid them as much as possible. One of the downfalls of not having plasma beams, you can't clip through them. Meanwhile, Krauser with a couple of very nice X Factors to start off his Ridley fight. So to comment on the conversation in chat, so the fastest DPS against Ridley because of the double damage of supers is still super missiles. But you'll see in old route, the runners typically won't use super missiles. And Zeni very nicely getting out of Lower Norfair. The reason why in old route you don't use super missiles is you want to save those super missiles for Torian instead of having to farm or refill them. On the other hand, the difference between using supers and Charge Ice Wave Spazer is much bigger than versus Charge Ice Wave Plasma. So in new route, you're typically going to use those supers. And you're going to see Zeni's going to get that free refill at Mini Kraid. Krauser, on the other hand, having already defeated Kraid, he's going to have to make up for those supers because they're both going to want them for when they get to Bot Wound. Zeni about to go into his Kraid fight. So he'll just be able to run right through all these space pirates and right through Mini Kraid. Krauser now making his way out of Lower Norfair. Krauser gonna have to be careful with those key hunters here. Zeni very nicely doing the quick kill. And just a reminder, we still have to pick up Varia here. To survive the Mother Brain Rainbow Beam, you need to have Varia, otherwise it's going to take 6 tanks of damage instead of only 3. And getting those extra 3 energy tanks would take a lot longer than picking up Varia. Okay, the last obstacle for Krauser nicely avoids the 3 Musketeers, and he's out of Lower Norfair as well. We're going to see the routes synchronize again in just a little bit. Zeni's done with Kraid. Krauser's done with Ridley. We'll see. It looks like Zeni's got a bit of a lead. We'll see just how much of a lead in just a second. And no surprise, Zeni skips the E-Tank at Kraid. He's going to go for the 3-tank run. Zeni the first to get into Meridia. Looks like Krauser's managed to get those supers. 7 should be enough. He might want a few more. With the X Factors, if he hits his X Factors to start off the bot wound fight, he should be okay with what he has. Zeni already having his power bombs selected so he can do some X Factors. Yeah, actually, Krauser's going to want one more super missile, I think, to make up for. He's going to have to shoot the green door here. Zeni very nicely getting his X Factors in. And a very nice one-round bot wound. So he'll pick up his third E-Tank, third and final E-Tank here. Probably the second most in the way E-Tank of the game, behind the Terminator E-Tank. Krauser setting up for his X Factors. Manages to get all 4. The last one a little bit late, but better late than never. And he's going to have to finish bot wound off. Oh, nope, he got him. And just enough. Nicely done. Zeni missing either both the halfie and the full halfie, so I'll have to do some wall jumping here. Get through the Coliseum. Ironically, the intended strat here with grapple beam, I think, is a much more difficult way of getting through this room than it is to use wall jumps once you know how to wall jump. And Krauser also going for the halfie and setting off that spark a little bit early. Then he's setting up for some more X Factors to start off Dragon. One of the nice things about the X Factors in the Dragon fight is you don't have to worry about the particles not hitting. I mean, you still want them to hit, absolutely. But since you're going to kill him with Shine Sparks, kill her with Shine Sparks anyway, the fact that you can't shoot while there's still X Factors on the screen isn't gonna slow you down at all. Then he's going to have to be a little bit careful about his health here. A good Dragon fight could put Krauser in the lead. Yeah. And indeed, Krauser manages to get through Dragon first. And Zeni not that far behind. With all the chain damage deaths we've seen since bracket started, I think it was very smart that Zeni did not try and finish him off with the Shine Spark. It looks like he's still got Spike Suit, so. You'll also notice neither runner picked up Space Jump. At this point, Space Jump would be useful only in the Coliseum room. Since Lower Norfair is done, that's where Space Jump really shines. They don't need it. see if either one stops the ship. Neither one has great ammo. As long as they get good Metroid drops, they should be okay to just go straight to Torian. So we'll see what they do. Zeni maybe a room and a half behind, maybe? Love that large jump to get back up through Meridia. Yeah, I do believe that Krauser picked up 20 missiles and Zeni only picked up 15. Krauser goes right by the ship. Chooses not to get the refill. I suspect Zeni will do the same. Very nice speedball into Terminator. And it looks like Zeni went into G4 about 9 seconds behind Krauser, so super close race. Now the runners get to take a little bit of a break. There's actually quite a few things that can happen at this point. Baby skip will make a big difference if one of them gets it and one of them doesn't. Metroid drops could be a thing. We've seen races decided by that last room and not getting the Metroid drops and having to reset that room again. Is overall how they do in the Metroid rooms. Does either of them screw up Zeb skip? So hopefully we see some nice clean Metroid rooms from both of them. Yeah, Krauser had a cleaner Metroid Room 1. That's going to put Zeni a little bit further behind. And Krauser getting all the ammo he needs, so he's good to go. Zeni, see if Zeni can get his super missile drops here. And he gets the right drops too. And Krauser gets this baby skip. That's going to make it tough for Zeni to catch up at this point. Zeni also getting the baby skip. Krauser getting right through that Zeb skip, having no problem with that. Not that you would expect that, but it does happen. Zeni also getting a very nice Zeb skip. Looks like Zeni's about the length of the Mother Brain 1 fight behind. So at this point, I hate to say, I would say Krauser probably has to make a mistake for Zeni to catch up at this point, as close as this is. But it is Super Metroid, and things do happen. And in this case, in a race this close, it's not just a matter of making a mistake at Mother Brain. There are definitely things that can make mistakes that can be made during the escape. Here comes the ketchup on Krauser's side. That means he's more than 3/4 of the way done. 60 shots total, so at the 46th shot, you'll start seeing the ketchup beam. Looks like Krauser's through, using up his missiles for good measure. Zeni now at his catch-up stage. A little more dangerous for Zeni. He can't get hit by any of those catch-ups with his energy total. Looks like he's through too. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be saving the animals here. Just a hunch. Just way too close a race. Krauser about to get his Hyper Beam. Should make short work of Mother Brain 3 here. All that's left for Krauser now is the escape. Counting a 19-second difference here, so we'll see if there's any hope for Zeni to make this up in the escape. Here we go. Krauser doing that nice last moonfall. Last really difficult thing, gets the Shine Spark. And Krauser wins it with an official SRL time of 45:20. GG to Krauser. Very nice race. And Zeni finishing in second place with an official SRL time of 45:36. Very awesome race. GG to both guys. Absolutely wonderful. I don't know. I mean, what a great race. With all the races we've seen lately where runners have died and had to forfeit, it's so nice to see such a really clean race by both of these guys. Yeah. In the meantime, I should remind all of you, follow these runners. Excellent runners. I think that's outdated. Okay, I can put in, let me see. If somebody has Krauser's Twitch address, let me get .tv. Yeah, that's not me either. If anybody has, let me see if I can grab that. It's like it's just Krauser318, so. Looks like we're gonna get Zeni in here. Okay, I hope that, oh, looks like, thank you, Al, for getting that just before I did. In the meantime, while we're waiting up, let's remind you what else is going on in the 90% tournament. And let's see. So the next race that's scheduled, unfortunately, isn't until Tuesday. That'll be at 8 o'clock between Balthazar and Z Music. And then we have 2 races scheduled for Saturday at 2 and 3 o'clock. The 2 o'clock between 2Cat and Carlito, and the 3 o'clock between Zosti and Galen83. And hey, Zeni, how you doing?
Hey. I'm pretty good considering.
You know, that was such a close race. I hate to say it, but I think Dragon was the difference.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't watching. I just switched the tab over every once in a while to kind of like decide what kind of strats I was going to be going for. And like I saw that I was, significantly ahead, and so I was like, okay, like we're good, we got this. And then of course Dragon happens. I'm like, I think I just lost the run.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, but I'm excited to go watch it back.
Yeah.
It looked pretty entertaining.
Yeah, like Dragon happens. Yeah. So you guys were really, really close, and then Krauser decided to do Kraid before Ridley.
Oh.
Yeah, which took me by surprise, which gave you a bigger lead.
Right.
But then you guys synced up in Meridia, and like I said, yeah, you were well into your Dragon fight when he got in there, and he managed to finish it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that pretty much was the difference.
Well, that's all right. Congrats to him for sure.
Yeah, it was a great race, and at this point, I've seen enough races where people have died and had to forfeit. I'm just thrilled to see both of you finish. Both of you with 45s. I mean, what a great race! That was so much fun to commentate.
Better than dying, I guess, like you said.
Always, everything's always better than dying. So unfortunately, that means you're going to be done with this tournament.
Yep, I'm out.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No, just follow everybody in the tournament. We have a great community, so if you're ever like just looking for somewhere to chill, it's a good place to start. So
Yeah, and I guess you can go back to your RBO practicing.
yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next.
Ah,
I think I want to get a 43, but other than that, I don't know. I did submit RBO to GDQ, so depending on what they come back with, that will
yeah,
influence what I'm doing. But
I really hope they pick you up on that. I'll be super excited to watch that.
yeah,
Unfortunately, SGDQ is easy for me to get to. It's a 4-hour drive. AGDQ not so much. So
right, yeah,
I'll
and
have to
I
watch
would
it
have
on
to
the.
fly either way. So
Yeah, exactly. So what's the difference, right?
right, okay. Well, yeah, thanks for the interview and for the hosting.
Yeah, and thank you for stopping by, and thank you for a
All
great
right.
race.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay, and yeah, thank you. That'll be pretty much it for me. Thank you to ShinyZeni and Krauser318 for putting on a hell of a show. One of the best races we've had so far, really in the tournament, but certainly in brackets. Thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting it. Thank you to the organizers putting on this tournament. It's a lot of work. Thank you to chat. Thank you to all of you who are watching. Also, and keep in mind, there are going to be more races scheduled, so keep an eye on those listings. We'll have plenty more Super Metroid. Round of 32 is still going. Hope to see you all in various chats and stuff. We'll see you there. And as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.